Hello everyone, this is Josh coming to you from quarantine. Today I wanted to make a quick video on a three-dimensional Lego structure using the concept of tensegrity. And tensegrity is usually a three-dimensional structure that is under constant tension. And so you'll notice in this structure here we have an object that looks like it's floating essentially, but it is not floating. There's no magnets. What's happening is the weight of this piece back here is pulling on these front chains in here, and the weight of the bottom part of this is pulling on this back chain here. And so this structure is under constant tension. There's constant energy flowing through this, and because it's pulling all the way around, it looks like it's floating. And so tensegrity's been around for a long time. You'll see artists use this to build different pieces of art. Sometimes architects will use them to build really high-end suspension bridges for tourists to walk over or cars to travel over. However, lately this concept of tensegrity has sort of taken the internet by storm in the Lego community. So all sorts of videos came to me the other day that were using tensegrity for different types of structures. And what's interesting about this is if you have your structure built right, you can actually build it quite large and it can support a lot of weight. Some builders were building these so big they were putting castles along this top part here. One builder built a flat plate into their top part and was putting his coffee cup right down on the top. This one here can hold a good amount of weight. Maybe not as much as a coffee cup, but it does hold some weight. So anyways, what I wanted to do today was show you this particular model, but then also I wanted to build one out of more simplified parts. I know that sometimes having the right parts is key to being able to build something, and I know I was looking at some of these parts and I realized that not all of them are very common in our parts list. So I thought I'd take this one out and build something with some more common parts. So what I'm going to do is start with a standard 6x10 plate here, pretty common plate. I just chose white today because I had a lot of white parts floating around in a bin here. So you're going to notice that most of my model is white. So first thing we're going to do is start with any sort of brick. I'm going to use 1x2 pieces here, and we're going to just start putting them together. So I'll start with 6 of them at first. We'll put those on there, and then I know from experience that I gotta make my side connectors a little higher, at least one plate higher, so I'm going to use a couple 1x2 plates along the side. And then I have a bunch of these. These are the old recessed stud 1x1 with the recessed stud pieces. You see them a lot of times used for headlights on cars and things like that. But if you have any of these, I use I think 6 or 7 of these. So I like these because they are direction changers. So if I put this down, now I have a stud coming off the side that I can connect something to, and this is where I'm going to connect my side chains. So I'm going to put one of those on either side, and again, we don't have any real starting point here, we're just kind of playing around. So the next thing we can do is we want to make our cantilever piece. We'll connect another one of these 1x1s with a side stud, a recessed side stud here, and this is where we're going to connect our chain. Actually, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to use a shorter one. I'm going to use a 1x6 plate here. I'll reconnect that stud. And now I need my short chain. And by the way, you will need 2 long chains, 1 short chain. If you don't have chains in your Lego library, that's okay. You can always use string, and you can just pull the string until it's tight. Sometimes you can take the string and clip it in between 2 Lego pieces, just clamp it and then pull it until it's tight. So if you don't have chains, don't worry. So I'm going to take my short chain here, connect that there. That's where our structure is going to hang. I'm going to raise this up a little bit so we can get it up off the ground a little bit more. And then I'm going to bring in a bunch of 1x2 pieces again, and I'm going to build the back structure, the hanging or floating structure. You can build these out of any color you want, any color you have. They don't all have to be the same color. I'm going to start with this here. And I'm going to come off that with, I'm going to start with a 1x10. Again, I don't know if any of this is right, but we're going to just kind of play around and see what we can do. I'm going to connect a jumper plate. This is a modified tile with a stud in the middle. And this allows you to center things, because I want this crossbar here to be perfectly centered, like that. That way we get equal weight distribution. So then, the next thing I'm going to do is I have to connect a return piece that connects up to the chain here. So I'm going to grab another one of those 1x1 with side studs, connect that here, and I'm going to connect that to this chain. So now our structure is pulling down, and I'm glad I raised this up a little bit because it's now not touching the ground. But now we need to connect our chains down here. I don't know if that's long enough, but we're going to find out. So again, some more of the 1x1 with side stud pieces. I'll connect those onto the sides of the structure here. Another one over here. Now we can grab our chains. There's our chains. And we're going to connect our chains to the side studs. One on that side. And one on this side. Alright, and we're almost done. So if you notice, when I connect these chains to these bottom studs down here, they're a little bit too loose, which is okay. So again, we're just getting started. We got to tweak this a little bit. So it's a little bit too loose. But what we can do is break this apart, add another stud in the middle, and see if that adds enough height onto our structure to make it balance. And it does not. So we're going to add one more stud, or one more 1x2 brick. Oh, coming apart there. And it's almost there. I have a feeling if we just put something else in the middle here to raise that up, maybe a one plate. There we go. Now we have our structure under constant tension. So again, you can build one of these with whatever colors you want. They don't have to look like this, but you have to have something cantilevering out a little bit, and then another structure that will cantilever this way so that you get this circular transfer of energy. And so I would encourage you, if you have the parts and you have the time, wink wink, to maybe build a structure of your own and post it on the page here so we can all see what you did. And if you have any questions, just let me know. But this is a Tensegrity structure. And thank you for watching.